Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch. And this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. We love to introduce you to members of our church staff and people from our community, and I always find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
I'm down with Christ because he is nice, Hallie. How are you?
Too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed, and way too grateful to be hateful. Well, just like Jesus said, let the little children come to me, our guest today is coming right over the cusp of childhood into adulthood at 18. We've got a Climax kid, now grown, Slick Jerkalis. Welcome to the program. How you feeling today, Slick?
Oh, stop. Thank you. I'm a hugger. I'm going to hug. Okay.
Get in
bring
here.
Bring it in.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
Okay, side
Come
hug.
on.
Side
I
hug.
loved it.
Good.
High
Yeah.
Side hug.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, leave a little bit of room. And we'll do that.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I love this because even though we're not on church property, there's more than two of us together. And so what is a church if not a meeting of two or more believers in a space? I love
That is
I
right.
love that you keep making a heart with your hands, putting them together like that. It looks so cool.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, that is right. We're not in the studio today. We're actually meeting just down the road at Gloria Jean's Coffee, which is like where a lot of times I'm doing Bible studies with people.
Yep.
And I happen to see Slick, and Slick, you were one of best Climax teens, and now it warmed my heart so much to see that you just staying with youth, leading youth, and helping us develop that next generation of people who are just on fire for Christ. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what is up? Because it was just awesome after we prayed together to hear what you were up to.
Okay, well, hey, first off, thank you. And I'm just going to touch base, piggyback right off of that and just say, can't get rid of me that quick. I did transition into the young adult ministry. So you can catch me weekly at Cleanup. That is sort of like a big part of what I'm doing right now. It's a big part of my journey and my path. And I'm using sort of that support to connect with the kids
Awesome.
over at the Sparks Club, which has been really, really exciting.
Awesome. That's awesome. And honestly, I think it's a God thing, Slick, that you were a young man who got to come up in Climax with Gray as an example of how to be a godly
Yeah.
man. I mean, you're going to do great things with your life. And I love that you're devoted to ministry. I'm going to put you on the top of my prayer list and ask God to just shower you with blessings, kiddo.
Okay, well, okay, I feel that. I felt it at the top of my head, and there was like a little electric spark that sort of went down my back, and I was like, "What is that feeling?" And I was like, "Oh, right, that was
That was the Holy
your
Spirit.
hair is looking so beautiful today." Sorry, one sec, Gray. I was talking over here. I just wanted to say your hair is looking stunning today. There's something about the light and what God is doing in your life right now. And I was like, "You are." Chica, you are glowing. Look at this.
So, well, thank you. These red stripes in the front, these are artificial. I have my hair gal do that, but I think it looks cool.
Okay. You're beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you
Yeah,
like
you're
that?
no,
It's-
you're no, and I mean that and receive that. You're beautiful inside out.
Okay,
I
well-
pray every single night that my wife shall be brought to me, sort of and I describe, I'm not kidding, word for word, I describe you.
What? It's incredible. Oh, my heart. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so
yeah.
much. I will receive that compliment from you, a man of God. I just wish I'd known you when I was your age because
Okay.
you look
Yeah.
great too. You know, I like a guy with an asymmetrical haircut like that. You still
Thank
have
you.
your elbow pads on from, I'm assuming, skateboarding or some such. How's that going?
Skated straight on over here, only fell twice.
Oh,
Amazing.
nice.
So that's sort of what I got going on right here.
Well, just to give you a little bit of
Oh, great. You just
backstory.
keep elbowing in there, huh? Great. You just keep getting on in
And
there.
Gray got some new
Come on.
highlights too. Does that look cool?
These are natural, Hallie.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, it's just on the ends though.
Okay, well, yeah. Anyway, so
Fine.
the thing that I did want to say, Hallie, is that something that you should know about Slick, and that is a nickname. His real name is Nicholas.
He is
But-
really slick.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, right. He did
Okay.
get that name
Thank you.
because, I guess
Yeah,
I can
thank you.
say this, Slick. You were always popular with the ladies. And that is true. And I think you can see because, he really does know how to compliment. Sometimes that got you into a bit of trouble when it came
Oh.
to being in youth group, didn't it, Slick?
Wow.
Well, hey, can I just say, I want to beat the allegations here right off the bat. What do you give unto God, God gives unto you. And sort of like what I would do anytime that a young woman, a daughter of Christ would come up to me and sort of like talk about wanting to take a walk, take that walk a little further. I would look her in the eyes and I go, hey, lady, chica, Galatians 5:16. But I say, walk by the Spirit and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh.
Oh my goodness.
And I get a little bit close and then I back
Gracious.
up.
Wow.
And I'd sort of walk away. So
Oh.
that's sort of like what I'm bringing to the table.
Wow.
And there was a thing where, oftentimes
Oh,
Slick would like
goodness.
to use
got-
scripture, to
Oh,
connect. And I think that's good, but also just you've got to be careful, bud. You got to
Oh.
be careful.
I got to fan
I'm-
myself here for a second. Sorry, might be
Oh,
a
hey,
hot
oh,
flash, or
you
it
just
might
got a
be
little
you
hair in
quoting
your face.
scripture. Oh, thank you for moving
got a
that
little-
off my
do
forehead.
you mind? Can I-
No, yeah.
There you go. Just-
Okay. Yeah,
Oh
well,
my
okay.
goodness.
well, anyway, let's just talk. I'm going to pivot and talk about what is going on in your life that you are just so excited about. Jesus and Christ specifically, Slick. And I guess Nicholas. I know you as Nicholas. Today you wanted to be called Slick, but whatever.
Well, hey, a slick and a stick straight to Christ. That's what I say. So
Awesome.
it's one of those things where it's just a little thing I say. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm trying to have this conversation and your smile is like lighting up the room.
Whose smile, mine?
This is crazy. It's like, great. What about your smile? What made you think that I was talking about your smile is my question.
Well, I'm not sure if you noticed. Did you guys notice? I got one of those little diamond things that sticks on your tooth.
Oh, right there on your fang
did.
tooth. That's cool. Oh, is it a cross in cubic zirconia?
No, Tally, it's diamond. Anyway,
Oh.
I just thought that was cool. So I thought maybe you were
Careful.
talking about my smile.
That's beautiful. Well, hey, it looks like you spend a lot of time on that. And I notice and I hear you and I appreciate that. What have I been doing? I'm translating the Bible into Simlish. Is something that I'm spending a lot of time doing right now.
Into what?
I think that's Simlish.
What the heck is that?
I think Simlish,
Yeah.
translating the Bible into Simlish. Did you hear me? Simlish.
Yeah, what's
Simlish?
Simlish?
Simlish.
Similar to English?
Simlish is the language that they speak in Sims, in the Sims video game. Because here's my fear,
Oh.
right? I've been sort of like thinking about it and praying on it. And my fear is that end times are going to come and they're going to
Yep,
go, we're
yep,
missing one
yep,
version
yep.
of the Bible.
Oh, I see.
And I fear it will be Simlish. And so I'm sort of covering sort of like the new basis. I think in this new generation, we can start translating the Bible in the languages that we know about because the olds are just not going to be there. Like you don't even know what Simlish was. I had to say it 9 times, Gray, and you
Wow.
still weren't understanding what I was saying. So I'm like, I don't want you to be the reason that we're all held up at the gate.
yep,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, I mean,
yep.
I did actually know what Simlish was. I just, like, you said it weird, but I was thinking, like, because one time I've even played Sims before, and
Oh,
for some
cool.
reason, and maybe you can speak on this, Slick, but every time I would leave this couple of Sims alone in the room, they would just like start, going at it. And I was just like, what the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on here? And I was just like, these,
Huh.
they're a bit naughty, I guess. I couldn't keep them under control.
Well, so what I do to sort of like help prevent that with my Sims, Hallie, do you want to come sit next to me for a second? I'll just
sure.
sort of like show you like what I do with my Sims.
Well,
Okay.
just
So
one
I
sec-
sort of
okay.
like get up
Right
real
here.
close.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I sort of like, I lean in and I go, hey,
Hey.
Matthew 5:8, but I say
Oh.
to you and to everyone who looks at a woman, like a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart.
Oh, my land.
Hallie,
So I sort of say that to the Sims
Oh.
and they sort of like appreciate it and understand and receive that in a
Wow.
way that's understandable. They're a little bit soggier than when they started, but that usually curbs a lot of sort of like the feelings going on there.
okay, so
Wow.
was
I think
that
that's
in Simlish?
effective.
Huh?
Was that in Simlish?
Was that in Simlish? I'm communicating it to them in Simlish, but for this, again, you seemed so lost the first time I said that. So I'm trying to connect with you in a way that you can understand.
Well, I just want to say I do understand it, no cap, and I am definitely down for that fire type of
Wait,
thing.
Greg, can you take off your jacket?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the t-shirt I was wearing last week.
Oh, really? How
Well, I've had
cool.
this for a while. This is Erwin McManus original, Supreme Ruler, it says underneath, which is like, it looks kind of a spin on Supreme in it, but it's about Jesus. But yeah, I don't
No, I know,
think
because
I've
that's
ever
because I was wearing it and you asked me where it was from, and that's what I told you.
Oh, I did.
Wow.
I
And
you
don't
said, "Oh,
remember
that's crazy."
I don't really
Huh.
remember that.
Oh.
Hmm.
It looks
I guess
good. It's a
we shop
cool
at the
tee.
same places.
Well,
Okay.
well,
It's
Hey,
a real
yeah,
cool tee.
it's
well,
a cool. Hey, it's cool. Can't fault you there.
it is cool. So, okay, you're translating the Bible into Simlish.
Yeah.
Simlish.
Simlish. Yeah.
Simlish, which I think is
Simlish.
good.
Simlish.
Maybe Slick can help you, Gray. Like Gray's really been trying to witness to Siri, even though she's AI or beta or whatever, he's trying to make sure that if she has some semblance of a soul, she will be at the pearly gates too. And so if you're working with your Sims, maybe you've got a way to, really evangelize these artificial intelligences.
Hallie, I love your heart.
Oh.
That was beautiful. That's amazing.
But
I
wait,
love your heart
What?
for
That was something that
helpfulness.
I did.
Thank
I
you.
can absolutely help Gray out with that. I for sure thought you were going to say you needed a bench spotter, and then I was like, I don't think you're going to the gym on a regular basis, but I love to be wrong. So hey, I can
What?
definitely help you out with that. And then on top of that, if you do ever want to get in the gym in the basement, do you know that there's a gym in the basement?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
basically built a gym in the basement.
You know that it's down there.
Yeah, I used to take you there. Remember? I used to remember. Like when you were in Climax, I used to be like, "Come on, bros, let's go down to the gym." And you guys were all like a bit too small for all that stuff back then.
Oh, I see. Well, hey, I appreciate that. Then I didn't quite remember it being you, the person that brought us down there. But if that is true, then lo siento, and I appreciate it.
Well, I can tell you've been working out, Slick.
Hallie, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate you seeing me and noticing me. That means the world. I think for me, as you can see right now, I'm starting a line of men's tube tops, and I think that that's sort of what I've got going on outside of everything right now.
Absolutely.
So I just think like. If the Lord has blessed you with a body, if you are working on His art, if we are made in His image, so we are all His David, we are all His other statues. You know what I'm saying? And so
Awesome.
I think that it's just really important that we are showcasing that.
Oh man, that's cool. And I agree with you. And I know that, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Sometimes I do
Made.
get a little guilty because, I have to keep having these breast reductions because every time I shrink them down, they come right back. And
Hallie.
I'm not saying
Back
that
up.
God makes mistakes, but here, I even sometimes, just because it gets real heavy, I like to set them on the table like this.
What?
That's way better. Oh, that's so better. But
Hallie,
Yeah.
do you mind if I call you Hallie? I should ask.
Please, yeah.
I just wanted to say, I have noticed, and I've been praying for you. I've been praying so hard.
Oh, I
I've
covet
been
your
praying by
prayers.
myself.
Oh,
I've been praying with my friends.
wonderful.
We sort of been praying it together next to each other. So I'm just saying, like, we're thinking about it and we're thinking about you.
Thank you. Wow. I thank you, my brother in Christ. And, I know these type of massive sort of melons are they're in the
Hallie.
way. Nobody wants to see them. And I don't want anyone to stumble in the flesh. But that's why I wear like a big baggy, Chico's kind of frock,
Somehow it still looks amazing on
Oh,
you. And
thank
that
you.
is God's work. It's true. It's true. It's
Wow.
like it looks tailor made. Send that down the runway. Hello, Paris. I'd take you to Paris.
Really?
We could go to Paris.
Wow.
Nobody's
I've
going
never
to
been
Paris.
to Paris.
Anyway, okay.
We could
just-
go to the
I really think we could do
Louvre.
wonders proselytizing in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
Think
The
about what we could
French
do.
need it. I mean, they're a craven people. Look at what they've done to kissing and I like what they've done to fries, but the kissing and
Sure.
stuff, they're insatiable over there.
Incredible.
Uh,
Incredible. I love that.
Okay, yeah, I just don't.
They need
Okay, I'm not
Jesus.
really sure okay, anyway, I guess what I'll say, and I'd love to just bring it back to what God is up to, but also I want to remind us.
Gray, were you eating broccoli?
What?
You got broccoli all in your teeth.
Oh, it's in your diamond even.
I'm so sorry. You're making a great point, and I don't want to stop you. You just got broccoli all in your teeth, every single crevice.
What?
You know what? Don't even worry about it. I just want to let you know that. Get it later. Don't worry.
Okay,
We're not
hold on.
thinking about it. We're not going to look
You
at
know,
it.
hold on. Okay. I'm going to step to the bathroom for 30 seconds and I'm going to deal with this. And then when I come back, I want to know what Christ is up to in your life. And I'm going to point out the pregnancy scare that you had when you were a sophomore, because we're going to talk about that and we're going to get into it. But first I'm going to go take care of this because my
Good.
diamond has a green thing in it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yep. Okay. Yep.
Sort of told you that in confidence.
I'm glad
Okay.
he's eating broccoli, Slick. I'll tell you what, because
Yeah.
normally all he does is he eats these creatine shakes and like whole, rotisserie chickens all day long because he wants to do clean jerks and burpees and all that down there.
Which is incredible to hear because he is so slight. That is a slight man.
yeah, he's tall too, isn't he?
He is tall as a wall and slight as a rail.
And it's funny because his body does look goofy in those Riffy boy jeans he invented that are wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. It kind of looks like he's one of those, rodeo clowns in a barrel.
My friend Matt,
Yeah.
who was in Climax with me,
Yeah.
said that when he invented those, they looked totally normal on him, and it was only when they put them on other people they realized that they were weird.
I mean,
Because he's so slight and so tall, they looked like regular pants on him. And it wasn't until somebody else put them on that they were like, oh, no, this is new.
Okay, I am back. And first off, there was nothing that I could find in my diamond tooth. Second of all, I want to talk about what happened when you almost got your little girlfriend pregnant when you were a sophomore. And that was something that we had to talk about, wasn't it, Slick? And I basically gave
that
you
was-
2 options. I said you can either, you can
marry her?
or you can give it up for adoption.
And what I didn't realize, honestly, was we hadn't actually consummated our relationship yet. We both had just prayed so hard at each other. We thought that God was going to bless us with a baby. I had a vision. An angel came unto me and said, okay, second Jesus could go in there based on this, based on your prayers.
Right.
So yeah, I did confide in you that I was worried about that. And you said that. And I said, I'm all in. Whatever you need, I am there for you. So, I mean, like, how does that translate to right now? Now I'm single. Now I'm just sort of looking for God to place the right woman across from me at a coffee shop.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Is
I'm
that
sort
why
of
you're hanging out
figuring
here
out
all
what that
day?
means for me.
Okay. Well,
Well, I actually invited you two to this coffee shop because I was hoping we could grab a coffee and chat.
right. And what I'm saying is you were like, okay, bring the podcast gear. I've got all this cool stuff that I want to talk about. And what it seems to me like is you just kind of go on these tangents with Hallie that I'm like, not really sure. But I also want to remind everybody listening and the world that, you had some issues when it came to just kind of how you, present yourself in terms of like putting it out there for the ladies kind of vibes.
Well, he without saying cast the first stone is what I always say.
that right?
And, I, of course, am I a perfect person? No, absolutely not. I've gone through my trials and tribulations, and that is where you see God,
Yep.
where he shows up
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
I wanted to invite you here because I'm a little bit worried about your path, Mr. Gray.
Mine?
Oh.
No, my path is
I wanted to grab a coffee, say that all of us are praying for you. All of us all the time are seeing what you're doing. We don't think you're growing in Christ right now.
what?
Oh, look at that. One of your own are holding you accountable. You're like an accountability buddy. That's cool.
I mean,
Thank you.
I-
You can pop that in your mouth and Baja Blast vape that.
I mean, you know what? If I might offer you a word basket of encouragement, Slick, we all fall short of the glory of God, as Romans says, isn't that right?
Amen.
But you know what? I find
Amen.
you to be an incredibly encouraging. You've got the fruit of the Spirit in you, buddy boy. You got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and faithfulness and self-control. Because when we first walked in here to
Okay,
this
come
Gloria
on.
Jean, I was so glad you suggested this place because I wanted to go get an extra pump of caramel in my Frappuccino. You sidled up next to me and said, Hallie, do 2 pumps. Why not? And I like
why?
that kind of attitude where you're like, you know what?
Today
Have
is a
little
gift.
pleasure. Yeah, right.
Titus 3:5, it is not my righteousness, but his glory in which I am saved. Something like that.
Oh my goodness, Oh, I got to hold
Got
on.
that tattooed on my wrist.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Exactly how I said it.
Wow.
Titus 3:5 is not my righteousness, but his glory that I'm saved or something like that.
That is so cool. Oh, I got to fan my. Where's
Yeah,
my
it seems
fan
like you should have
again? I
maybe
gotta
looked it up
fan
just to
this.
make sure before you did the rest, or is that Spanglish or Simlish?
Sweating. It got
Nah.
hot in here. I'm sweating.
God's put everything in my mind that needs to be there is genuinely how I believe about that.
Okay.
That is how I believe about that.
So
How do you believe about that? That's how I believe about that.
yeah, I guess I believe about that the same way. But if you could not,
Chica, you are red as a tomato. Are you doing okay
I'm a
over there?
little
Is there anything I can
warm.
get you?
It might be the perimenopause, Slick. I'm telling you, I
Really?
am warm. I mean, that's a lot of good scripture you're pumping out, kiddo.
so what is going on with
Flow
the
the spirit inside
one-wheeled?
you.
What is that thing
Yeah.
that you're riding around now? A one-wheeled electric thing?
Okay, so a couple of us at Cleanup have started riding around these. So the young adult ministry, we've been riding around. Do you know unicycles?
Yeah.
This isn't that. It's like a skateboard, except there's one wheel in the middle.
And it's
Cool.
motorized?
It's motorized, yeah.
Whoa.
And sort of how we see it is we say no helmets. We say God is our protector.
Oh,
And then somebody one time said you really should be wearing a helmet. What if God put a helmet in your way? And I'd say I would know. I sort of have a direct line.
Okay. Just was
Awesome.
trying
I think
to
that's cool.
find a topic that was maybe just, yeah.
I just was going to ask for, maybe some examples of some of the things that, you learned in Climax as a kid coming up about how to stay sexually pure and keep your mind pure. I know as a young man, you've got major hormones coursing through your veins, and the way God designed you is to be a visual creature who, is kind of always your eyeballs without you even knowing. Your eyeballs are always going to be drawn to a woman's chest or maybe what she's got down below in the behind area. And it's like Satan is throwing stumbling blocks in front of you everywhere you go as a man in this modern day world. And I was just wondering, like, what you've discovered that helps you, stay on the straight and narrow and keep it pure.
Hallie, what a beautiful and melodic question. And I think, as you know, Gray was my leader at Climax, and not only was my main leader, was also my small group leader. So we spent a lot of time together.
Yes.
And Gray, I think you've got a couple of those lessons. Do you want to do the lollipop? Do you want to do the rapper? Do you want to say one of those?
Well, I do a new one now where I rap about the lollipop.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so. Just sort of the idea, you lick the lollipop, all of a sudden you put it back in the wrapper, it's the same, or the wrapper, you crinkle it up, and then it'll never be straight again, that type of thing.
Yep.
If you don't mind me saying, how do I say this in a way that is loving and supportive of you and what God is doing in your life? It was bad and it didn't work.
What?
So we did something else, sort of we got, do you guys know Luke?
Yeah. Luke Stransberg?
Yeah, Luke Stransberg. He came in and he said, "Hey, you guys need some of the harder stuff." We said, "Yes, we are struggling. Gray is doing nothing for us. Sorry. Again, that's your journey and your path. And again, why I invited you to coffee. We can talk about that later." But he had this method where, is it Hallie, is it crazy if I say maybe I can show you? Is that
sure.
I don't know.
Visual aid, yeah.
And totally.
Happy to help.
So come on, squeeze in the booth here with me.
Okay.
I know it's a one-person booth, so I'll just sort of, okay.
Should I just use your microphone like this? We'll both talk in the same microphone?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, hey.
Okay.
What is that chapstick?
What? Oh, this is a Burt Bee. And it's got like a peppermint in it. And so it makes my lips feel alive.
That smells amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess this is going to be kind of hard, but okay. Here we go. So this was sort of what he taught us, is that we got to put ourselves in situations where God can intervene, right?
Okay.
So it would sort of be like, I'd get my lips just kind of close to your lips.
Okay. Uh-huh. Hmm.
Sorry, just like that.
What the heck? We're not gonna do the Stransberg method, and we're not gonna do, like, Hallie, you need, first off, Luke Stransberg is a little ginger.
Nothing's happened here.
Luke Stransberg is a little ginger perv, and I kicked him out of youth group because Well, first off, basically nature was trying to kill him. He almost got sunburned to death at summer camp twice. And the other thing that I would like to point out is that, he was coming to Climax Youth Ministry when he'd already graduated from high school, and he was lying about it. And I said, you can't do that anymore. Get out of here, you perv. And so I don't want to do the Strasbourg method, because I think we've all learned that that is absolute bunk. It's bunk.
Great. He did not understand what you were saying because of the accent, and he moved to Perth.
What?
Oh.
You said get out of here. He heard get out of here, semicolon, Perth. And so he got on a plane and he went to Perth.
Well, they'll probably find a lot of
Australia, your
pervs there
homeland.
too, because that is where they send them in Australia, because it's basically a perverted penal colony. And what
Tough.
Perth is a perverted penal colony?
yes.
Oh, my.
And what I will
You're
say,
on the record saying that Perth is a perverted penal colony?
Perth is a perverted penal
Every single from Perth is a pervert who's in a penal colony.
Yes, I'm saying that. I'm saying that right to you right now. Perth is a perverted penal colony.
Wow.
And I'm just,
Strong words. I'm
just-
glad we're recording.
I just don't know what you're doing, Hallie, because here's the thing. Slick is always just like doing his little like word verbal salad where he's just being all sort of charming and saying all these Bible verses, but kind of
He
twisting
knows his
them.
Bible.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, hey, you got to slow down, bud. You said, come here. We're going to have
Right.
a conversation in the coffee shop, and everything has just been about Hallie. Hallie's not that great. I do the podcast with her all the time. I mean, she's fine. Sorry, but
I'm only good through Christ who strengthens me.
I mean, nobody even noticed I'm wearing
Gray.
brand new Air Force Ones that are very, very sick.
Oh, wow, cool.
Gray,
What?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I understand what's happening here.
What?
Here, come sit in the booth with us. Come
Yeah,
sit
get
the
in
booth
here,
with us.
Greg. Come here. Get in. Okay, here. I'll scoot you.
Okay,
Sorry.
what?
Oh,
I
I'm a little
understand
bit.
what's happening.
Sorry, do you
What?
care if I have one cheek on your thigh, kiddo? It's tight in here.
No.
Okay, sorry about that.
Hey, you squeeze in. We squeeze in how we can. God gives us the resources, and we do the best we can with what we have with them.
Isn't that
Hey,
true?
Gray,
What?
Gray, I'm sorry. Your breath, it just
What?
smells like Cheetos and roses. That's incredible. I've never smelled
Cheetos?
breath like that
I've never eaten a
before.
Cheeto. I've never eaten a Cheeto in my life.
Well, I don't know what it is. Your body is doing something crazy, and I'm
I'm just sweating
very into
because
it.
it's like, what?
That's incredible. You got the glow of Christ in you, pal. And
I-
I love that.
I love Cheetos. I'm going to be honest. I love them.
Okay, Hallie.
You and me both. Can I show you? Here's just what we would do. We'd sort of take our hands and we'd like,
Okay.
would sort of like get really close.
Yeah.
So great. I'll try to send you, I guess. And so you get sort of close to the body and you just go, oh man, God, stop me if you want me to stop. And we always would. And so that's sort of our method is to sort of get to the, if there's no judgment on me, the balls, you sort of like get around there and you go like, okay, and stop and pause and just don't touch, but get close. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Can you feel Jesus in this coffee shop right now?
You guys, I am really a bit cross because it just feels like Slick. I said you could come on the podcast when I saw you the other
Sure.
week.
Yeah.
And then you were like, we got to do this off campus. And I was like, okay, we'll do a
Uh-huh.
field recording. And then I said,
Yeah.
we'll do it at Starbucks. And you said, no, we'll do it at Gloria Jean's, which in my opinion is a bit of a perverted place anyway. Because it's,
Why?
because people, they call it Gloria Beans and things like that. And,
Right.
and I'm just warning you that it's these types of things that always got you into trouble when you're in climax with all the ladies and some of the fellas too. And remember when I put a bunch of you in a room and I said, hey, you guys who are doing all this funny stuff, you got to sit in this room and figure it out.
Yeah, you locked us in there all night.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah. I feel like I learned a lot about God and myself that night. So actually, I do have to thank you for that. I feel like I wouldn't be in this position where I am of the world, but not in the world. You know,
Mhm.
you are not in the world and you are of the world. I feel like you're an opposite day version of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at you and I'm looking at the stuff you're doing and I'm going, oh my God, I got to straighten my path.
right.
So I do thank you for that.
But I'm straight. I'm so straight. I'm on the straight path because I'm straight.
Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that you felt safe enough to tell me that.
I don't need to share it because everybody knows and it's totally clear.
Thank you for sharing, and I appreciate it. Even though that wasn't your intent, that is what you did. And we are all beautiful and we are all fearfully and wonderfully made. So I appreciate you telling me that. You didn't ask me a single thing about working with Sparks.
Slick Jerkalis was played by the wonderful Vic Michaelis. You can follow them and all their amazing work at Vic M. Mick.
That's VICMMIC. And thanks, Vic, for seeing Hallie. Nobody ever sees Hallie like that, and I'm still kind of needing to fan myself here.
Speaking of Hallie, that's played by Holly Laurent. I'm Greg Hess playing Gray. And hey, go rate and review Mega. I know we don't ask for this a ton, but we really do need it to find new listeners. It helps us so much.
We're an indie podcast, and it costs you nothing to rate and review. But if you do have a couple shekels and you want to join Patreon, patreon.com/megahthepodcast. Come on over. We're having fun. You can give us suggestions for our live streams and have lots of interaction on Discord.
That's right. The link is in the show notes. And thanks.